Couple billion a year in transactions.
A couple billion? So we in downtown Dallas, and we got invited to go to this convention where a lot of entrepreneurs are going to be there. And that also just shows you the power of networking, because we were just outside and we met some people who invited us to this event. So we finna see some entrepreneurs. We're going to try to get some more interviews, because there's going to be a lot of important people here. So let's go. What's your name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. So what career did you, or what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
JP, I started in real estate. I dropped out of community college when I was 19, and I got into real estate. And I did that for 16 years, man. And now I am a branding coach and marketing coach.
So what's the most you ever made in a year?
Did my first 7 figures by the time I was 25, dude.
7 figures?
Yeah, we did 1.5 million by my 25th birthday, excuse me. Real estate, dude. It was a good business. It was fun, you know. So
what steps did you take to get to that point?
Grinding
Grinding
and learning. What you're doing right now, man. Like, where are we at? We're in Dallas at a conference, right? I'm a community college dropout. Growing up, we didn't have money to send me to like a big school. You know, so I was able to go to the community college, man. I went on a football scholarship.
Oh, wow.
You know, and like you had to grind. And so I realized we didn't have money to go to like a fancy school. So I just started studying through books, dude, and tapes and seminars. That's why I admire you guys and JP for being here. Is you'll learn more from these guys in the hallway than you could ever anywhere, right? Like that's how we're chatting, you know? Like I call them hallway conversations. Study books, study their content, and go try to meet them and just ask people, what did you just ask? This is how I've learned. I love what you're doing. This is how I've learned everything. Is you meet somebody cool and say, hey, can we get, a burger or tacos, and help me, how did you do it? And I just love that, man. And so if you've noticed, I've been just chatting with some friends, making new friends, and you learn from other successful people. I truly believe the shortcut to success is finding somebody who's already been there. Tony Robbins has a quote. He says, find somebody who's already achieved the level of success that you seek, then just model what they did. And think about it. If a personal trainer went and he spent 10 years of his life learning the diets and the nutrition, he's shredded, I can gain that feedback or that experience by getting to know him or investing like in his product or his coaching or whatever that is, right? And it's truly standing on the shoulders of giants. And you can have somebody condense they took 20 years to learn. Their lifetime, you can literally learn in like a training. You know what I'm saying?
So what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Chase your dreams. Chase your own dreams and nobody else's, dude. Find out what matters most to you. Because I think, I know when I was really young, and maybe you guys watching, you're influenced by other people's goals. Like what you want, your mom should want for you or your family, and you're doing things to make other people happy. I think get really clear on what your heart wants, like what your soul wants, and go chase that down. So somebody struggling in a cycle of poverty, what advice would you give to them to get out of it? Find a hustle, man. Find a way to get paid. Like you're gonna have to work anyway, right? So for me, my hustle was real estate. Dude, I come from a single wide trailer, man. And I sell real estate. I can make money that way, great. Well, then show me how. And I went and learned it. And if on the backside of that I can make $5,000 or $10,000 a deal, that's a vehicle out. My mentor calls it a bigger shovel. So how would you get out of it? You got to shovel your way out, right? And just find a shovel. Whether that's selling car, whatever you have to do to find a path to get paid in, just go hustle at it.
So I'm an entrepreneur. What advice would you give to me to scale my business from 5 to 6 figures?
Study, bro. Study. Learn, study, try. Learn, study, try, man. Just learn as much as you can, but then move from chalkboard talk. Like, you need the concept, right? If I was to give you 10 badass ideas, find one idea and fucking go all in on it, dude. And go study and learn it and implement and hustle. Too many people want to sit in a chalkboard and learn. You need to take the one idea that you have, the one vehicle, and go master it and learn it. Just go all in on one thing. There's a Chinese parable, you can't chase 2 rabbits. Because when you chase 2 rabbits, guess what? You catch none, man. Right? And so to your question, how do you get out of it? Find the one thing that you think is going to get you paid. Find one avenue to go get paid on it and go all in on it. And if it's working for somebody else, it can work for you too. Right?
Thank you.
JP,
all right, so what's your name?
Jeff Altador.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I'm in the real estate field. I do land wholesaling.
So what's your story?
Pretty much, man. I'm actually from South Florida. Flew in here to Texas to, kind of connect with a lot of like-minded people. But pretty much, I came into the real estate industry. I graduated college. I was just trying to look for the next thing. I didn't really pretty much like the 9-to-5 job. When I graduated, I worked a corporate job like everybody else. And I realized I wanted something more and came across wholesaling real estate. I was wholesaling houses for like 4 months, couldn't get a deal. I was struggling. And then once I figured out like, yo, you can wholesale anything in real estate, I literally transitioned to land. And now, I've wholesale land full time. I've done over 300 land deals, and I teach people how to get into this business as well too.
What's the most you've made in a year doing that?
So my first year, when I first started off wholesaling land, my first year I did over 400,000. My second year we scaled and we did over 700,000. And in my third year we literally cracked that 1.2 million mark. So, just pretty much, just staying consistent. And we also teach people how to get into this business as well, too.
Yeah, so have you ever been broke before?
Oh, for sure, man. I've been down bad, just zero. You know what I mean? Yeah. To where, like, listen, man, I ain't have a pot to piss in, But as long as I kept my faith in God and understood, like, everything comes with this journey, I just kept my faith in God and kept this thing rolling,
So what advice would you give to somebody struggling in that cycle of poverty?
Man, I would tell them to keep God first, keep God first, keep praying, and know that the sun is always going to shine on the other side. Every day is not going to be raining and storming, but just keep God first and continue to keep that grind going, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, thank you, sir. What's your name?
Jeff.
This video is sponsored by Clay Cooley, Nissan in Irving. They have new and used cars, and if y'all go there to get a car or to go look for a car, look for my guy Angel Root and tell him you came through me. And if you go there and you buy a car from Angel Root, we'll personally give you $100. And on top of that, we'll put free gas in your new car too. And Nissan Cooley and Irving also got end of the year sales, so this would be the perfect time. If you need a car, you could pull up there, ask for Angel Root, and say you came through me. And he also does house remodeling, so if you need your house remodeled, you could call this number right up here. So yeah, let's get back to the video now. Let's go. All right, so what's your name?
My name is Liam Benson.
So what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Software and real estate.
So what's your story?
When I graduated high school, I decided to take a year off. I wasn't good at school, so college probably wasn't the best choice.
Yeah.
Didn't do it. I started working at a bank, found out I hated corporate red tape, but I was really good at sales.
Yeah.
So I figured, okay, how about I join an industry where I can create my own level of success? I'm not limited or capped, and it's going to be sales-based. So I got into real estate. I got my license. Then I found out quickly I did not like being a realtor, but I liked setting appointments. So I started a small company doing that, and then that started to grow and grow. I started to get introduced to other people in different spaces. I'm a software guy myself. I've been coding since I was about 12 years old. So then it just was the natural connection for me to then start software in the real estate space. And so then I linked up with some people who had really fantastic ideas. I helped launch the company, build it up, and then now here I am in the space doing this.
So what's the most you've made in a year?
The most I've personally made in a year? Last year, did a little bit over $500,000. We have, for our software company, it's lead generation, right?
Yeah.
And so we have this huge amount of deals that are to be made in the real estate space. And we realized, so on our platform, people can buy leads. And so the leads that don't sell, what we do is we partner with investors and we give them the leads for free. And then we make a cut of the deals. And so then I manage that entire section of the business. And that did well over $2 million in profit to the business. And then I make a good cut of that. So that's where the majority of my income came from last year.
So have you ever been broke before?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 100%. Not even a question. Yes.
So what advice would you give to somebody struggling in that cycle of poverty to get out of it?
What I've done really well at is understanding that you want to be the stupidest person in every room you go into. It's like around the corner over there is the green room.
Yeah.
That's where all the big speakers hang out. That's where all the big names hang out. I'm in there listening.
Yeah.
I could go in there and tell people I'm 22 years old. I own a large portion of a multi-million dollar company. Try and tell people how cool I am. But what does that do?
Yeah.
Not much. Or I can sit there, shut the fuck up, just listen. And then I can figure out who I can provide value to. And then it's like, find somebody who's one level above you and provide value to them, because then they're going to reach their hand down, pull you up, and then you're on their level. You find somebody one level above, do it again and again and again. It's like 2 years ago, I was at an event, just like you guys in the general admission, just hanging out. But then I'm making connections like this. And then you get brought up to a level. And then you get brought up to a level. And now all of a sudden I get to hang out with the biggest speakers in the industry, hanging out with the people that I idolized and understand, like, shit, here I am now. So that's the advice that I would have is figure out the people above you, provide value, and humble yourself and listen.
Yeah, so you're 22? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, but hey, that's nice to meet you. All right, so what's your name?
I'm Tanner.
Tanner. So Tanner, what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
All right, so I work in the solar industry.
Oh, wow.
Sun money.
So what's your story?
The story is, you guys see that? See like how light it is out there?
Yeah.
There's this big thing in the sky,
The sun.
and it's our money maker, and it's the sun, and it goes up every day.
Yeah.
So I really chose an industry where I could go and help people. Actually, like help them. Where before, when I was in sales, we were taking money out of their pockets.
Yeah.
Now we can actually put them in a better place, put money in their pockets, save them money, doing good.
So what's the most you made in a year?
1.9 million.
Damn, 1.9 million.
Last year, yeah.
Damn. So have you ever been broke before?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've been doing door-to-door sales for 10 years. So my first maybe 3, 4, 5 years, I made great money, like multiple six figures, and I spent all of it.
Damn.
So there was days where, I felt rich and I was broke.
Yeah. So somebody struggling in a cycle of poverty, what advice would you give to them to get out of it?
All right, so your network is your net worth, okay? Yeah. So honestly, the number one thing is get with people that are going to a place where you want to go. Surround yourself with killers.
Yeah.
Right? All these guys that were wearing these like same shirts, like we roll around the same shirts. We have like the same matching dunks. We do custom dunks every month.
Oh, wow.
And it's because like we're a brotherhood. We all roll together. We know where we're going. We're going to the top.
Yeah,
So my advice would be find someone who's going to the top where you want to go and latch onto them. Be loyal as a dog and stick with it.
So I'm an entrepreneur myself. So what advice would you give to me to scale my business from 5 to 6 figures?
What's your business?
Amazon FBA.
Honestly, I would stick to my same advice, which would be, bro, keep doing what you're doing. Network with guys that are killing it in Amazon.
Yeah.
Pick their brains. Do what they're doing that's making them a lot more money.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanner.
JP, good to meet my guy.
Hey, appreciate you.
All right, this guy's going up.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Personal branding.
Personal branding. So how did you get into that?
I started as a videographer back in 2018.
So what's the most you've made in a year?
500 grand.
500,000. So what steps did you take to get to where you're at today?
People, places, and things. You got to change the people that you hang around with, the places that you go, the environments that you're in, being at an event like this, and then the things that you do.
So have you ever been broke before?
100%.
So what steps do you think people should take to get out of that cycle of poverty?
It's all about who you hang around with first, right? Like if you're around broke people, you'll be broke, right? There's that quote that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most, right? So that's where it starts, is like hang around successful people and get around, go to where successful people go.
So I'm an entrepreneur. What advice would you give to me to scale my business from 5 to 6 figures?
Raise your prices, number one. What do you do?
Amazon FBA.
Okay, so that's tricky. You do like direct on FBA?
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by direct?
Like you source products and put them on Amazon, or you help other people build their stores?
I source.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously for you, it's going to be your distributors.
Yeah.
You got to find better distributors. My best friend right now, he's doing about $15 million a year doing Amazon FBA.
Damn.
But he started in 2011.
2011. Oh
yeah. But like he started out by doing what's called arbitrage, retail arbitrage. Yeah, so he would go to like Big Lots, Ross, these different places, and like basically see what he could get it for in the store and what's charging on Amazon, and then make the money in between.
Yeah.
And he got up to 7 figures a year just doing retail arbitrage alone. But Amazon's cracking down on it a lot more, right? So like a lot of people's accounts are getting shut down for that, and it's because they don't have like the approval from the brands. Yeah. Right. Another way too is like getting into the seasonal stuff. Yeah. So selling like Easter candy and different things like that, where you can have seasonal ways to make money, where it isn't just however you're making money right now.
Yeah. Thank you. That was good. Thank you. All right, so what's your name?
Tim Harridge.
Tim Harridge. What career did you decide, or what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I was going to be a cop.
A cop?
Yeah.
What are you right now?
I loan money to real estate investors nationwide.
So what's your story?
Networking, hard work, being willing to put in the hard work at first. Don't expect everything at once. And 23 years later, I do a couple billion a year in transactions.
A couple billion? Damn. How did you get to that point?
I put myself out there. I come to things like this, and I go meet people. I shake hands. I find ways to add value to people. Like, if I can help you, you'll remember me, and if you remember me, then you know me, right? Like, people say it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's bullshit. It's like, who knows you, right? Like, I know who Joe Biden is, but he ain't taking my phone call, right? But I take his phone call because, like, I know him. So I think, you go around, you try to find ways to add value. Start with your local community, start with a local small business, and then add value, grow, continue, consume knowledge. Like, I'm an idiot, man. I went to the Marine Corps. I learned how to kill people. Like, I don't have a degree, but I've sat in some of the most exclusive boardrooms and events, and I've got billionaires that call me for advice now. So be patient, be diligent, and stack assets, man. Like, if you're in the real estate game specifically, like, you got to keep houses. You got to keep assets, because if I kept 23 years later, if I kept one more year, I'd be worth an additional $10 million right now, just with one more year. So that's it.
Have you ever been broke before?
I've been broke this year, man. Shit happens, right? Like, when you're moving millions, right, and $1 million don't come in, like, you got to scramble. But no, man, I remember when I first got started out after the Marine Corps, I sold life insurance for a year. I remember this one time I'm outside the Sprint PCS store trying to find enough change to get my phone turned back on. So yeah, I've been broke. I've been richer than I ever thought. I've been broke again after 08 and dug myself right back to even better.
So what advice would you give to somebody struggling in a cycle of poverty?
The moment you accept it, you are it. In this country, I served in the Marine Corps with people that were from everywhere and anywhere. Anyone can do anything they believe they can do, but you will definitely never do anything you don't believe you can do. So if your surroundings are not what you want, they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you got to go get in the right room, in the right circle, and every little step is a step in the right direction.
So I'm an entrepreneur myself. What advice would you give to me to scale my business from 5 to 6 figures?
Number one, that's a stupid thing. Figures don't matter. I can do 8 figures and only make 10 figures. Or only make like $10,000. So don't worry about the figures. It's not how many. It's how much. You got to grow your bank account step by step, diligently with a plan, right? And you've got to have things that compound, right? Your time compounds. If you find one little thing, my boy Dustin, you find one little thing that saves you an hour a week, it's not about saving an hour a week. It's that you can spend an hour a week on something else, right? And then you find a way to save yourself 2 hours a week. Now you can spend 2 extra hours a week on something else. If you find a house that goes up 3% in value that you only had to put $20,000 down, your compound appreciation is on the total asset value, not on your investment. So it's all about compounding your time, compounding your knowledge, compounding your growth, and compounding your beliefs.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Good to
Appreciate it, All right, so what's your name?
Ian Macklin.
Ian Macklin. So what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
So, I started out in car sales when I was 18, and now I run the Elliott Group coaching company. So, we're the #1 sales training company in the world right now.
So, what's your story?
That's a long one. That's a loaded question. But if I made it like a quick story, I started out in the car business. I had nothing. I had, a mom that was in the military that just tried really freaking hard. A dad that left them when we were kids. Grew up in, just freaking hard shit, man. And I found the car sales world. Ended up learning what to do, training, growing, all of the shit that most people won't do. Like in car sales, they don't give a shit. They're just trying to make a check, man. I was trying to master, myself and really growing and mastering development. So anyways, I became one of the top car salespeople in the world for almost a decade. I just crushed it, killed it, sold more cars than, most stores. And did really well there. And then I opened up the Elliott Group with Andy Elliott and became his right-hand guy. And we started the sales training company because we did something that we wanted to teach others to do, which was mastering not just sales, but their life, the way that they treat themselves, the way that they treat other people, the father they are, the mother that they are, the health, everything. We believe that you could have it all, not just one thing. And everybody taught us that you could just only be a good salesman, but not, good in other areas. So Then we opened up this company, blew it up. Now it's a 9-figure business, and we're going after it. We've got hundreds of thousands of salespeople that train with us, and we're just trying to teach them how to do things the right way. You know what I mean? Like guys like you, like you're wherever you're at in your journey. You're how old?
18.
You're 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you're out here, you have the courage to do an interview, you have the courage to stand here and ask people to tell them about you, you know what I mean? To tell them about like what you've learned. Most people don't have the courage to do that anymore. Yeah. They don't have the courage to ask, they don't have the courage to change, they don't have the courage to grow. So what we try to do is take a guy like you, give you a blueprint to go kill it, because you already got the soft skills of knowing what to do, and then just showing you how to go fuck some shit up, man, and go be the best you, man. The best version of yourself. That's it, man.
What's the most sales you've done in a year?
Well, I mean, in car sales, we're going to do 9 figures as a business this year, but in the coaching world, probably about 30 million. In sales, not like in money made for myself, but in revenue, and in the car sales world, if I sold probably about 500, 550 in cars, units, like 550 cars sold,
So
or more.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, man. I've made money and lost money, and I've started at zero. I opened up a business and lost that, and a lot of those things that I learned really taught me to be the person I am today. So losing money or going broke isn't really the risk. The risk is not going after it, living with regret, not chasing your dreams. When we opened this company, we were losing money every day, man. I mean, to the point where you just wanted to crumble and quit, but you didn't, and you went after it. So a lot of the times, I think a lot of people that are just trying to protect themselves and protect their money never truly get money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So being broke ain't a bad thing, man. Staying broke is a bad thing. It's a choice.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to somebody struggling in a cycle of poverty?
Being broke is a choice, and it really is. Listen, no matter where you come from, I didn't come from, a rich family necessarily. I came from people that had rich values, rich, morals and shit, but not a lot of money, right? I'm the first person in my family to make 7 figures or more, right? But if you're out there right now, all you have to do is find the vehicle of sales, right? And the vehicle of sales is, you could be in car sales, you can be in solar sales, you can be in life insurance, you can be, and there's a million different opportunities out there. More than ever right now, if you're broke, you can go find people like you, or like people like Andy, like people like Carlos is right here, dude. I mean, dude's gonna be a billionaire one day. And he's done millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of real estate transactions and different things. You could go find these people, learn what they know, grasp it, and go take it into any business. But if I was broke, I'd find some shit to sell, because I was broke, and the next thing you know, I had 10 grand, and I'm like, fuck, I'm rich, man, off of just selling cars, and I'm like, damn, man, I'm fucking rich now. Like, this is great. I wasn't really rich, I only had 10 grand, but like, when you are broke, and then you see that you can get to another level, and you start to see above the waterline, you realize that all of that shit when you were below the waterline was just a choice. All you had to do is make the choice. And when you start to see clearly, and you're not struggling anymore, man, life becomes different. You start seeing a different realm of where you can play at, the people that you can play at. You start to see that Andy and all these guys that are making all this big money, like me, you start to see that we're no different. We just made a choice. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's no big different. It's no different, man. If you're chasing the money, you'll probably never get the money. If you're chasing the mastering like who you are, being a better person, growing, learning, training, getting better, you're not chasing the bullshit on the internet, fucking social media and all this shit that doesn't matter. You're not distracted. Everybody's fucking distracted right now. If you're chasing the wrong things, you're always going to get the wrong results. If you're chasing the right things, like development, your pockets will end up getting full, and you won't even know how sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
Tell me about you. Here, let's interview you. What are you out here doing?
So I'm an entrepreneur. I do Amazon FBA.
Okay, cool. Tell me about that.
So I started like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to scale it to grow it.
Good. So what are you out here doing interviewing people?
So this is a YouTube channel I just started.
Oh,
I literally started yesterday.
Good. How's it feel to be on the other side of the camera?
I'm nervous.
Yeah, dude. It makes you a little different, huh? Yeah. Okay, so tell your followers what you hope to achieve by them tuning into your videos. Like, on your heart, what do you hope that they achieve listening to successful people? Why are you asking successful people what successful people are doing? Are you asking for the motivation, or are you asking so that you could really learn something and your followers could really learn something? What's your goal?
So for really both ways, so I could learn some, and so also they could take some from it, because I'm trying to grow just like how they trying to grow. So we trying to grow, like we growing together.
Trying to provide some value. See, and a lot of people, this is a success tip, a lot of people aren't trying to provide value first. What that means is like reciprocity. You're trying to provide something to them, in turn you will naturally get shit back. But a lot of people, it's a what's in it for me me fucking culture. Oh, what's in it for me? You know, versus like, hey man, I could go provide some value. You know, you're a 19-year-old kid and you're like, fuck man, I'm gonna go provide some value to the world in the form of grabbing some information from the people who have it and trying to give it to the people who need it, which is you guys. So I would stay tuned into this channel. I would stay growing. And listen, from a dude who came from nothing, I never imagined that I could make millions of dollars. I never imagined that I could make thousands of dollars, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't know what you imagine. Do you imagine shit like that?
What?
Do you imagine having a really big life that you're like, damn, how did I end up with this, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that you got to do is one thing. It's be obsessed with growing. Be obsessed with training. Be obsessed with development. Be obsessed with becoming the version of yourself that you know that's inside, and then ripping that motherfucker out. Yeah. But here's what's going to happen. You want me to tell you what's going to happen?
Let me know straight up.
Here's what's going to happen with him. He's either going to make one of two choices. He's going to either go after it and be like, fuck this, I'm going to get crazy. I'm not going to listen to all my 19-year-old friends. He's going to be his future self. His future self, who he envisions, he's going to become that person today. He's going to be the leader that he wants, the dad that he wants. Whether he has no kids, he's still the example to what those future kids will see. He's going to become the son that he wants. You know, I wanted to buy my mom a house and have my mom travel with me and do all this stuff. And I want my mom to be proud of me, right? Because it was just me and her. So what did I do? I became that person. At 22 years old, all my buddies were bullshitting. They were all chasing chicks. They were all chasing shit that they shouldn't be chasing, right? Yep. And every night they'd say, come on, buddy, let's go fuck off. And you know what I'd say? Hell no, dude. I'm going to stay in the zone, dude. Yeah. I'm going to stay where I need to be so that I could be the one for my family. Do you want to be the one for your family?
Yes, sir.
You probably don't have somebody that's shown up and gave you guys generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, you can't have dreams and then have bitch-ass action that doesn't go with those dreams. You know what I'm saying? Or what happens is you're a 30, 40-year-old guy like I know, and you have internal conflict with yourself, and you're like, you see those guys that are 40, 50 years old, and this is nothing against them. They can make a change right now at 40 years old to change, but they're like this. I fucking hate myself. I don't know how I got here. No, dude. When they were 19, they had a choice. Yeah. But since that choice didn't have consequences, you know what they did? They fucked off those choices. Yeah. And then they were suffering a consequence, but because they weren't feeling it, it was cool for them not to do any of those things, right? Yeah. So what I'm telling you, you need to go back and rewatch that part so you can pick it up, because you could hear something totally different 3 different times, however you decide to hear it. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that today, there's a consequence. You drinking with your buddies, there's a consequence. You hanging out with the wrong people, there's a consequence. You fucking not running with lions, there's a consequence. Running with sheep, there's a consequence. Everything in your life, you're going to have consequences. And since you got these big fucking dreams, the number one thing you're going to have to do is be accountable to those dreams. Yeah. And only you are going to be able to keep you accountable. Yeah. That's it. And if you guys are out there and you want to win, you could text me personally, 480-780-2203. Again, 480-780-2203. I'm nobody. I'm just somebody out here pursuing my fucking dreams that's relentlessly psycho, that knowing that I can get them. And I'm going to go get him, and I hope you do too. Stay close to his channel. Sounds like he's got some good intentions of bringing you guys some good shit. Now, let's go. Build this YouTube channel. Subscribe now. Follow now. And let's fucking get crazy, okay? Let's go, man. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your name?
Aron Bevans.
Aron Bevans. So what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Entrepreneurship, and it's mostly wholesaling real estate and virtual staffing.
And so what's your story?
My story is I saw my mom work very, very hard for what I thought, when I found out how much she was making, it insulted me. Like, how dare whoever my mom was working for take her from me, you know, as a little kid, take her from me for hours on end where I can't see her. And then I found out that she was only making X amount of dollars per hour. I said, I never want to be the person who's working for somebody else like that. I want to be the person who's employing others and taking care of other people. So that's kind of what planted the seed in me to want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know it was planting the seed, but it was kind of planting like that seed of rebellion in me, for sure.
So what business do you have, or like what exactly do you do?
Right now I have 3 businesses that I focus on. I don't work in all of them, but I have a virtual staffing company with over 400 employees overseas. I have an education business where all these individuals are some of the people that I work with to help them build their businesses. And then I have a wholesaling real estate investment firm where we focus on flipping contracts and making money with creative finance and things like that.
And so what's the most you've made in a year?
Most amount of money I've ever made in a year is $2.4 million.
2.4 million?
Yes, sir.
Damn, so have you ever been broke before?
I have been broke. I consider myself broke now, for sure.
I consider myself business broke now. I made more money in this last year, in the last 24 months than I've ever made in my life, and I'm more broke now than ever before. Not because it's like I'm not making money, but I'm reinvesting now, and I'm being more frugal now than ever, actually.
So, what advice would you give to somebody that's coming up? Like, what advice would you give to them to come up?
It's easy for us to compare our journey to other people, especially whenever you see people who are making big money and living the lifestyle, and we might get really frustrated because we're like, man, I've been doing this for 3 months, 6 months, and I'm not rich yet. Just know that you're supposed to be broke for a certain part of the journey. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna get rich overnight, and if you do, oftentimes you lose it quickly. So the journey and the difficulties that happen through the process is building the character in you for you to be able to sustain that wealth and riches whenever you do get it.
Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur myself. So what advice would you give to me to scale my business from 5 to 6 figures?
From 5 to 6 figures?
Yeah.
From 5 to 6 figures, I would say focus on your metrics and your numbers.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is know how many leads you need to generate. How many people who raise their hand and say, I'm interested in your product or service. Mm-hmm. How many interested leads do I need to generate per week, per month in order to generate a customer or a client?
Yeah.
And then how many customers or clients do I need to generate in order to bring in the revenue that I want? So focus on numbers, not emotion.
Yeah, all right, thank you. What was your name again?
Aron Bevans.
Aron Bevans. So those were amazing. A couple millionaires. Shit, we even got a billionaire, so we got someone that did what he said he did $1 billion in sales. So yeah, those are some good interviews. Y'all could take some from that. But yeah, we gonna catch up in the next video.
Stay close to his channel. Sounds like he's got some good intentions of bringing you guys some good shit. Now let's go. Build this YouTube channel, subscribe now, follow now, and let's fucking get crazy, okay?